Ethan stood at the edge of the docking platform, his eyes scanning the horizon, where sleek alien ships floated like stars against the black of space. His own ship, the prototype Earthfighter, sat behind him, small, battered, and ridiculed by everyone around him. Even the humans in the joint fleet had laughed when they first saw it, calling it weak, outdated, and a waste of resources. The aliens, with their tall, elegant forms and polished ships, whispered among themselves, their voices, like music and venom mixed together. "That is Earth's best," one of them sneered, and Ethan clenched his fists, refusing to show the frustration burning inside him. He had heard these words before, but somehow, being in front of the alien princess made the sting worse. Princess Liara appeared then, stepping out of her golden ship with a grace that demanded attention. Her eyes, sharp and cold, scanned the platform like she was judging every life form present. Ethan felt the weight of her gaze, and he knew he would have to prove himself. Even if she thought he was nothing, she had never seen war, never felt fear like humans did. Yet she ruled with confidence and arrogance, believing no one could challenge her. The briefing room was cold and bright, filled with holographic maps and alien commanders. Ethan felt like a small shadow among giants. His heart beat fast, but he did not show it. He knew this was his chance, however small, to change how the galaxy saw humans. Earth's prototype would lead the first wave, an alien officer said, smirking. "Do not fail, human." Ethan nodded, keeping his voice steady. Though his mind raced, every mission before had been a test, and every time, humans were laughed at, dismissed, forgotten. But this time, he would show them something they would never forget. As he walked toward his ship, Liara's gaze followed him, curious and sharp. Ethan could feel her judgment, her disbelief, and maybe, just maybe, a hint of interest. He ignored it, focusing on the task ahead. The engines of his small fighter hummed to life, a soft, defiant growl against the enormous alien fleet. The alarm sounded, piercing the calm of the spaceport. Red lights flashed as warning signals spread through the fleet. A raid had been detected, fast and deadly. The alien officers panicked, but Ethan felt a strange calm. This was the moment he had trained for, the moment when humans could prove their worth. Liara watched from above, her curiosity growing. She had never seen anyone act like this, so small, yet so determined. Ethan's movements were precise, intelligent, and fearless. She frowned, feeling something unfamiliar, a mixture of annoyance and fascination, as the human prepared his ship. The alien princess did not realize she was about to witness something that could change her view of the entire galaxy. The hangar doors opened, revealing the dark expanse of space, speckled with enemy ships approaching fast. Ethan gritted his teeth, his hands steady on the controls. He did not think about fear, only about strategy, survival, and proving that Earth's prototype was not a joke. As he launched into space, dodging the first wave of enemy fire, Lyra's eyes widened. The human was not just surviving, he was leading, guiding smaller ships, and using his ship in ways no one expected. A laugh she had prepared to mock turned into silence, replaced by a sharp, uneasy curiosity. Somewhere deep inside, Liara felt a shift, a change in how she saw humans, maybe even a small crack in her arrogance. But she would not admit it yet, not here, not now. The battle had just begun, and the human soldier had only just started to prove himself. The enemy ships came faster than anyone expected, sleek and deadly, their weapons flashing red as they tore through the outer defenses of the fleet. Ethan maneuvered his small fighter through the chaos, twisting and turning, dodging blasts that could have destroyed a larger ship with ease. He felt the thrill of danger, the sharp edge of fear, but he did not let it control him. From above, Princess Liara watched, leaning over the railing of her golden ship. Her eyes widened as Ethan led a group of human fighters in daring moves. The humans moved like predators, small but smart, unpredictable, and far more dangerous than anyone had believed. She had trained her entire life to command, yet she had never seen strategy like this, never felt the raw courage that flowed through humans in battle. "Protect the main fleet," an alien officer shouted, panic lacing his voice, but Ethan ignored the orders. He saw the bigger picture, a way to hit the enemy hard and make them retreat. His hands moved fast over the controls, firing, dodging, and guiding his team with instincts no alien system could match. Liara frowned, irritation mixing with fascination. How could someone so small do what her elite soldiers could not? She had been taught humans were weak, fragile, unworthy of respect. Yet here was Ethan, proving everything she had learned wrong. A sudden explosion rocked the left flank, sending debris spinning in all directions. Ethan dove through the chaos, saving a smaller human craft from destruction. The pilot yelled thanks, but Ethan only nodded. Already scanning for the next threat, he was calm, precise, unshaken, and the aliens who had mocked him moments ago could only stare in disbelief. Curiosity turned to grudging respect, though she would never admit it out loud. She noticed how Ethan planned his moves, how he understood the enemy's weakness without thinking too much. He acted like a human, and yet moved with something beyond training, beyond logic. Something instinctive and brilliant. The enemy regrouped, trying to corner Ethan's fighter, but he was faster, smarter, and more daring than they expected. Using a narrow asteroid field as cover, he led the attackers into a trap, alien ships colliding and exploding as he guided the humans to strike together. Each move showed not just skill, but the courage of a species that refused to bow to fear. Liara felt a strange unease, a whisper of doubt in her mind. If humans could fight like this, what else could they do? Could they change the course of entire battles, entire wars? She did not answer the question. Not yet, but she watched Ethan closely, learning, analyzing, and realizing that her understanding of the galaxy might need to change. Finally, the first wave of enemy ships was defeated, retreating into the dark of space. Ethan's small fighter floated among the wreckage. Untouched and proud, the other humans cheered, and even a few aliens nodded in surprise, acknowledging what had just happened. Liara stayed silent, her eyes fixed on Ethan, her mind racing with new questions. This human soldier, laughed at and underestimated, had done something impossible, and she had witnessed it all. Something inside her shifted, a tiny crack in the arrogance she had carried her whole life. The battle was over, but the war was far from done, and the human soldier had made his mark, not just on the battlefield, but on the heart and mind of an alien princess who would never see humans the same way again. After the first wave of enemy ships retreated, Ethan's fighter hovered above the battlefield, smoke and fire drifting from the destroyed alien ships. He wiped a thin layer of sweat from his forehead, but his eyes were already scanning for the next threat. Battle was never over, not in space, and not when humans had a chance to prove themselves. Princess Lyra's golden ship moved closer, her expression unreadable. She had never seen anyone fight with such calm and cleverness. Not her elite guards, not the best of her fleet, had moved like this. She felt both irritation and fascination, unsure whether to be impressed or angry that one human dared to act like this. "Human, you are reckless," she said sharply over the comm, her voice cold. Yet there was curiosity hiding beneath the words. Ethan did not flinch. He replied calmly, "I am careful, Princess, but I also act when action is needed." His tone was steady, and it held a quiet confidence that made her pause. The next mission required them to enter the enemy's core territory, a place thick with traps, mines, and ambushes. Ethan led a small strike team, each pilot relying on his guidance. The humans moved together like a single organism, quick and precise, dodging mines, anticipating enemy movements, and striking when the time was perfect. Liara had to watch up, close, and for the first time, she truly understood what battle meant. Not the clean simulations or controlled drills she had seen on a training ship, but real chaos, death, and strategy working at the edge of instinct. She saw how Ethan stayed calm, how he adapted every second to survive and protect his team. "Watch carefully," Ethan said over the comm. "They always expect the same move twice." He guided the humans in a daring maneuver, using the narrow asteroid corridors as cover, drawing enemy ships into crossfire. The smaller human fighters struck from hidden angles. The larger alien vessels were trapped, vulnerable, and confused. Liara felt a new sensation, something she had never felt before, respect mixed with disbelief. Humans were not weak, not at all. They thought differently, acted boldly, and survived when logic said they should fail. She frowned, feeling a small sting in her pride that one human, just one, could outsmart her elite fleet. During a pause in the battle, Ethan landed briefly on a small asteroid base to repair his ship. Lyra's shuttle followed cautiously. She descended next to him, and for the first time, their eyes met face to face. He looked tired, yet determined, his uniform marked with smudges of soot and scratches from the battle. "You should not be here," she said, trying to assert her authority, but she could not hide the curiosity in her voice. Ethan smiled faintly. "I lead where I am needed, Princess, not where I am told." His words were simple, but they carried weight, teaching without speaking lessons of courage, independence, and trust. Liara studied him, trying to understand. She realized humans were unpredictable in the best way. They did not follow tradition blindly. They adapted, they learned quickly, and they did not fear making mistakes. She had lived in a world of rules, shields, and etiquette, and suddenly, she saw how limited her world had been. The enemy attacked again, faster and more aggressive this time. Ethan guided the human fighters into a clever trap, using the terrain, the enemy's assumptions, and human ingenuity to destroy their formation. Liara watched in awe as humans moved as one, fearless and brilliant. As the battle ended, she finally whispered to herself, almost unwillingly, "Maybe humans are stronger than I ever imagined." And Ethan, unaware of the change he had begun in the princess, prepared his fighter for the next wave, confident, calm, and ready. A human soldier, laughed at and underestimated, teaching an alien princess lessons in courage, strategy, and the unexpected power of humanity. The enemy fleet had regrouped faster than anyone expected, their ships cutting through the darkness of space like shadows hunting prey. Ethan adjusted the controls of his prototype fighter, his eyes sharp and focused. Every movement mattered, every second counted, and the humans followed his lead without hesitation. Princess Liara watched from her golden ship, leaning over the railing, her sharp eyes tracing every move Ethan made. She had never realized the full potential of a human mind in combat. Humans were unpredictable, fast, and fearless, and this one human had turned ridicule into power. The alien commanders frowned as Ethan led the humans in maneuvers no simulation had taught. No alien fleet had predicted this. They chased him, tried to trap him, yet he moved with clever twists and sudden strikes that left even Liara gasping. She felt a strange respect, growing stronger even as her pride resisted. Ethan knew the fleet depended on him. He guided the humans through narrow asteroid passages and ruined debris fields, using their small size and agility to attack enemy weak points. His prototype fighter, once laughed at, now became the spear of the attack, leading strikes that even the alien elite could not plan. Lyra's eyes widened as she watched Ethan coordinate the human pilots with quiet precision. "They fight differently," she whispered to herself, almost afraid to admit it. Humans adapted in ways aliens never expected. They did not rely on technology alone. They used strategy, instinct, and courage combined. An enemy cruiser charged directly at Lyra's ship, planning to capture her and break the fleet's morale. Ethan saw the threat instantly, without hesitation. He flew his small fighter in front, drawing enemy fire and leading the cruiser into a trap set by the human pilots. The massive alien ship exploded in a bright burst, and Lyra's golden ship was safe. For the first time, she realized that humans were not just clever, they were brave, daring, and willing to risk everything for others. Ethan had turned every weakness of his prototype into an advantage, showing that the smallest fighter, guided by human ingenuity, could change the course of battle. Lyra's mind raced, questions forming that she had never asked before. Could humans, underestimated for so long, become the true force in the galaxy? Could one soldier, one small human, shift the balance of power entirely? She did not answer immediately, but she could feel the truth in her chest, a truth that scared her pride and thrilled her curiosity. Ethan's voice came over the calm and commanding. "Stay together, follow the plan, and watch the weak points." The humans moved like one, executing his strategy flawlessly. Each strike was precise, each maneuver calculated yet unpredictable, and the enemy had no choice but to retreat further. Battered and confused, the battle ended, the enemy fleet limping away, defeated and humiliated. Ethan's small fighter hovered above the wreckage, untouched, his team cheering over the coms. Liara remained silent, her eyes locked on him. The arrogance she had felt earlier had melted slightly, replaced by a cautious admiration. She realized something no one else had yet understood. The human soldier, laughed at and mocked, had not only saved lives, but had changed how she saw her own world, and perhaps the galaxy itself. Humans were not weak. They were unpredictable, brilliant, and powerful in ways aliens could not imagine. As Ethan prepared for the next phase of the mission, Lyra finally admitted quietly. Perhaps we have underestimated humans for far too long, and in that moment, she knew the galaxy was changing, one human soldier at a time. The prototype that was mocked on Earth had become a beacon of hope and fear, and the princess had witnessed it all. The final wave of enemy ships approached, larger and more dangerous than anything the fleet had faced before. Ethan gripped the controls of his small prototype fighter, his eyes sharp and steady. He could feel the tension in the fleet, but he did not falter. Every move he made had to be precise. Every decision could mean survival or destruction. Princess Lyra watched from her golden ship, her hands gripping the railing, her heart pounding in a way she had never expected. She had never seen a human face such odds with calm and confidence, and now she understood, fully, why humans could never be ignored. Ethan led the humans into the enemy formation with daring strategy. Weaving through plasma fire and missile storms, his fighter dodged like it was alive, small and clever against the massive alien cruisers. Each human pilot followed his lead without hesitation, trusting his instincts completely. The enemy tried to trap them, surrounding Ethan on all sides, but he had anticipated this. Using the debris of destroyed ships and the terrain of the asteroid field, he lured them into a tight corridor, where their size and weight became a weakness. One by one, the alien cruisers collided or were destroyed, their forces dwindling fast. Lyra could hardly believe her eyes. She felt something inside her shift completely. The arrogance she had carried all her life melted away, replaced by awe and respect. Humans were not weak, not fragile, not insignificant. They were brilliant, daring, and brave in ways her people could never imagine. One massive alien flagship charged toward Lyra's ship. Hoping to turn the tide, Ethan did not hesitate. Diving in front of her golden ship, drawing the enemy fire and giving the human pilots the opening they needed. The flagship exploded in a bright burst, leaving nothing but silence in its wake. The enemy fleet retreated, scattered, and defeated. The humans cheered over the coms, exhausted but triumphant. Ethan floated in his fighter above the wreckage, calm and steady, his eyes already scanning for the next challenge. Lyra remained silent, her golden ship drifting above the battlefield, her gaze fixed on Ethan. She had witnessed something she could never forget. The human soldier, laughed at and mocked, had changed her world, and perhaps the galaxy itself. She took a deep breath, realizing that her understanding of humans, of courage, and of power had been limited by arrogance. One human, one small soldier, had proven that humanity could survive, adapt, and conquer where even the strongest alien fleets failed. Ethan finally landed near her ship, the battle behind them, yet the impact of what had happened echoing across the fleet. Lyra descended cautiously, meeting his gaze, and for the first time, she spoke without pride or pretense. "You have shown me a world I did not know existed, a world where humans are more than I imagined." Ethan nodded simply. "We are not perfect, princess, but we fight, we survive, and we adapt." His words were quiet but carried the weight of truth. The princess realized then that humans were not just soldiers, they were innovators, heroes, and a force that could change the galaxy. As the fleet regrouped, Lyra looked out into the stars, her mind racing with possibilities, allies she had never considered, strategies she had never imagined, and a new respect for Earth and its people. The galaxy had shifted, and humans were no longer laughed at. They were feared, respected, and remembered. Ethan climbed back into his fighter, ready for whatever came next, but he glanced at the princess and smiled faintly. He had changed her world, and in doing so, he had changed the story of humanity among the stars. A prototype laughed at on Earth had become a symbol of courage, ingenuity, and hope, and as the stars stretched endlessly before them, Lyra knew the galaxy would never be the same. Not while humans existed, not while soldiers like Ethan fought, not while courage, daring, and humanity burned brighter than any alien pride ever could.